things changed dramatically. This was about 7 p.m. local time here in Kansas City, and it was teeming. And Pat, it didn't look like we were going to play any baseball at all earlier tonight.
That's a typical summer rain in Kansas City. A cell comes over, it just pours crazy water down for about a half hour or so, and then all of a sudden it clears up and everything's fine. We got flooded here in the TV booth here. Some of our stuff got wet even though we had the windows closed, but that's a typical summer shower here in Kansas City, but we're ready to play some baseball.
Yeah, the field drains very well and the field conditions should be fine. Let's take a look at the lineup for John Gibbon Blue Jays. They lost 3-1 last night to Kansas City. We're down hit 7-5. Devin Travis, he's not had any problems at all hitting lately. Devin's batting second again tonight. Over his last 11 games, he's hit over 300 with a double 3 home runs, and he's driven in 12 in those 11 games. And Kevin Pillar against Kansas City this season, he's 6 for 16 with 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, and he scored 5 runs. Kevin was 0 for 3 in the game last night, and they're going to get a look at the right-hander Heath Fillmyer for the first time.
Yeah, Heath has pitched in 9 games this year, including 5 starts. He's got a 1-1 record, a .313 earned run average. He came to the Royals from the Oakland Athletics in a trade this past January. And in his last start, that was against the Cubs. It was a 9-0 win. He threw 7 innings, 98 pitches, career high 7 innings, and he earned his first major league win. He retired 17 on 18 batters at one point. So the Blue Jays will get their first look at the young right-hander Heath Fillmyer tonight.
Last night, Brad Keller did a good job. He won the game, improved his record to 5-5. Defensively, Kansas City has had a great streak, no errors in their last 120 innings, and they're led by their Gold Glove catcher.
Yeah, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 5-time All-Star, no errors this year for Sal Perez, the only catcher in the American League who can say that. He's been involved in 11 double plays already this year. That's the most in any league. He has been a great backstop for this team for a number of seasons.
Very, very athletic for a big man. He can really move and presents a very low target, very positive with his signal calling. Perez is set, so is Granderson. He steps in the box. It's 24 degrees and the rain has let up and the sun's starting to break through. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is up and away for a ball, and we're underway. Granderson 1 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. He takes a strike. Obviously, both of these clubs are going to be a little bit interested in what they're dealing with tonight, so they might take a few more extra pitches early in this
First
game.
appearance for the Blue Jays against Fillmyer, and it's a very simple delivery. Fastball, curveball, slider, change, your basic 4 pitches from a starting pitcher. He throws a lot of strikes. He can fill it up. His name is appropriate, Fillmyer. He can fill up the strike zone.
Missed badly with that pitch. It's 2-2 now. They had some different pitchers last night. Sean Reed Foley made his major league debut last night, and he's stationed very appropriately right behind the veteran Russ Martin. Hot shot. That is Hunter Dozier at first base. He takes it on one hop, steps on the bag. Devin Travis will come up with nobody on and 1 out.
Well, Devin got the Blue Jays off to a good start in last night's ball game. Remember the previous pitch? He got sawed off, broke his bat. Then he goes ahead and hits this ball deep down the left field line. His timing at the plate has been so much better. And he's starting to hit with a little bit more power.
Devin is healthy, and you can see the confidence growing with each game. He's been robbed of regular at-bats over his last 3 seasons. Had trouble with his shoulder, had trouble with his knee. He hasn't been able to stay in the lineup, but now getting some everyday reps, the bats come around. Ground ball, nice play at third by Escobar. Long throw in time. They told you how good this defense has been. They have not committed an error in 120 innings.
Just 53 errors on the season, the second fewest in the American League. This is extra bases for sure. But now Escobar, who's played most of his career at shortstop, handling third base now for the Kansas City Royals, takes away extra bases there.
His 9th start at third base. So he moves back to his normal position at short, but he's in the shift. Justin Smoak, the first baseman. Smoak walked twice last night. He was officially 0 for 2 in that game. Goes after the first pitch. The Blue Jays have lost 3 of their last 4 games, and they've scored a total of just 4 runs in those 3 games. They just haven't been able to get much going with the bats. Smoak quickly behind 0-2. Bill Meyer was acquired in a trade in January. Came from Oakland in exchange for Brandon Moss and Brian Buchter.
He's pitched very well here at Kauffman Stadium. His ERA is under 2 here.
Well, you mentioned what a good pitcher's ballpark this is. You can pitch very aggressively here because it takes a lot to get a ball out of here.
I think you can pitch aggressively with your fastball. And I think if you keep the ball away, chances are hitters are going to hit it to the big part of the ballpark. So you can pitch aggressively with your fastball. Just don't make mistakes.
Full count to Smoak. If he reaches, Teoscar Hernandez is on deck. He'll come to the plate. Good numbers, as Pat mentioned, here at home. That's a foul ball.
Well, had a little cut to it and got in on the hands of Justin Smoak. That's where you want to throw that pitch, in tight, where he can't catch it out in front.
Phil Meyer was a shortstop in college. He played junior college baseball in New Jersey. Was drafted after his freshman season by Colorado. And then his sophomore season was drafted by the A's. But he was an athletic shortstop, and he actually closed as a freshman and then made the transition into pitching when he came into pro ball.
Yeah, threw fewer than 10 innings as a freshman because he was an infielder. Where was that? Mercer Community College?
New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Good movement on that pitch, down and away. Bill Meyer off to a good start. 3 up, 3 down, no problem. Brian Borucki will take the hill in Kansas City when we come back. He's won his last 2 starts. LCS championships in 14 and 15. They won the World Series in 15. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Royals. Despite the fact that they won last night, they've lost 9 of their last 11 games. They've scored a total of just 33 runs. Top of the order, Whit Merrifield. He has had no problems facing lefties this season. He's 4th in the American League with a .352 batting average. And then down in an 8th spot, Alcides Escobar. He has had great numbers against the Blue Jays for his career. 13 extra base hits, 17 RBIs for the third baseman.
They get Ryan Borucki tonight. This is his 9th start. Blue Jays are 8. In his 8 starts, they are 4-4 and have won 3 in a row and 4 of his last 5. Last time out against the Boston Red Sox, he won his 2nd major league game. His ERA has not been above 3 in his entire career, and he has tossed at least 6 innings in 6 of his 8 starts this year.
Against the Red Sox in his last start, he was a little bit too conservative in my mind, and he said it himself. He said, I was trying to be too fine. And he pitched from behind early in that game. Whit Merrifield with a 2-0 count. Hot shot right to Russell Martin. Russell looks very comfortable at third base. His 8th start of the season over at third, and he's made some nice plays early in this series.
He's had to handle everything. He's taking hits away to his left, this one right at him. And with that great arm, it's an easy out over there. He shows very quick hands and quick feet, and that's what you need from an athletic third baseman.
Now you can see with Alex Gordon, the batter, the Blue Jays go into that shift. Travis out into the outfield in shallow right. Barucki's got his father and his uncle here to watch him this game. They live in Chicago and they made their way down here. Barucki and Danny Jansen working in the big leagues for the first time. And they have come through the minor league system together. There's Ray Barucki right there, Ryan's father.
It's getting to be old Happ for him to come out and watch his son in the big leagues.
Hot shot right to Smoak. That's a hang with him for Alex Gordon. 2 up, 2 down for Ryan Barucki.
Yeah, you hit it to the wrong guy, Justin Smoak. He's made just 1 error this year. He's got the highest fielding percentage of any first baseman in the American League at .999. He's neck and neck with Mitch Moreland for the Red Sox for the Gold Glove, in my mind. 1 error for Moreland, but Smoak has played 20 more games than Mitch over there at first base. Yeah, you hit it to him, it's an out.
So with 2 outs and nobody on, Sal Perez will step in. Perez, now 28 years old. He comes out of Venezuela. He was the World Series MVP in 2015. Blue Jays signed him in 2006 as an amateur free agent. Off the end of the bat, Pilar, the center fielder, calls for it and makes the catch. Easy inning for Ryan Barucki. Both starters off to a good start. Barucki needs just 8 pitches to set down the order.
Presented by Honda at the Model Clearout event. It's the best time to team up with a Honda you'll love.
Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, and they've acknowledged their championship in 2015. They also won a championship in 1985. 2-time World Series champs. And now they're in a rebuilding phase. Both of these teams have gone to the ALCS in back-to-back seasons recently. Kansas City in 2014 and 15, Toronto in 2015 and 16.
You and I we were leaving the ballpark last night, and we happened to run into the general manager of the Kansas City Royals. And we said, hey, what are you doing? He says, well, we just sat here with one of our scouts and one of my assistants, and we started talking about what we need to do to get back to that World Series championship team. And how many pieces of paper did he show us?
Yeah, he showed us about 8 5x8 cards that was filled up with to-dos. To do this, we need to do that,
Yes,
we need to do this. They were very busy.
Suggestions on what they need to do, players that they might possibly target.
They had just returned from a 10-day scouting trip through their own organization to see their players and see their ball clubs. Dayton Moore done a terrific job here. This is his 12th season. There's Dayton, and he is really one of the bright minds in baseball. I mentioned his 12th season. He came from the Atlanta Braves, and he has had a rich background in farm development and
very smart
scouting.
Very smart. Built this organization one time, and they've had to tear it down and do it again.
Teoscar Hernandez, he's back in the lineup. He did not play in the game last night.
He loves facing the Royals in his young career. He likes whatever they throw up there. He's had 6 games and he's had 6 RBIs against them. Right now he's got a chance to do some damage now. 3-2 fighting back into the count.
Up and in for ball 4. Leadoff walk here in the second for the Blue Jays.
Well, while we have a second, let's take a look at the scouting report for tonight's starter for the Kansas City Royals. It's Heath Philmeyer. Fastball 92 miles an hour, and he'll move it around the strike zone and use a sinker, slider, changeup, and curveball. There are the numbers in the miles per hour that he'll use it. Changeup's always very important. He's been much better since the All-Star break at throwing that changeup for strikes and for strikeout percentages.
Kendrys Morales, you heard the fans reacting to Morales as he was announced to hit here. He played a couple seasons with the Royals. Kendrys 0 for 4 in the game last night. Blue Jays managed just 5 hits in that ballgame. Nevin Travis hit a home run in the first inning. It's the only run the Blue Jays could score. Runs have been tough to come by for both of these teams lately. The Blue Jays had done a good job against the Red Sox and then Tampa Bay and Kansas City in game 1 to shut down the offense.
4 runs in 4 games for the Blue Jays, so they might have to get a little creative offensively to try something. What makes it difficult against the Royals to try and run on, they've got a great backstop in Sal Perez who can just shut down the running game.
Perez has been terrific, catching 19 of 37 base stealers this season.
The best in baseball, 51% throwing out base runners. The best in baseball, so it's tough to do that.
Yeah, he threw out Randall Grichuk last night as part of a strike him out, throw him out double play in the 4th inning. One ball, 2 strikes to Morales. Now it's 2-2. Takes a breaking ball in for ball 3, full count. You got to believe they're going to start the runner here with Morales. He just doesn't run well. Anything on the ground is going to be an automatic double play. Unless Martin is on deck. He's been getting on base a lot lately.
You mentioned that strike him out, throw him out. That's what they tried to do yesterday. Start that runner 3-2, and it backfired on him. But I'm with you. I think you have to stay aggressive to try and force the action.
Not running. Ball 4. So back-to-back walks for the Blue Jays here in the second. Philmeyer retired the side in order in the first inning, and now he has walked the first 2. Russell Martin, he's been on quite a roll of late. Again, last night he reached base to extend that streak of 11 straight games reaching base. He walked in the second and was cut down at the plate trying to score on Danny Jansen's single to left field. Breaking ball for a strike.
That was almost a given, wasn't it? Taking until you get a strike. The first two batters walked to lead off the second inning. Russell Martin always up there in pitches per plate appearance. You figure he was going to take a strike.
Line drive off the glove of the shortstop Mondesi. That's going to go into left field. Morales hustling into second, and he's in there safely. Martin hit a liner right to the shortstop. Mondesi reached up. It went off his glove into left field. The bases are loaded, nobody out, and Aledmus Diaz has had some hot start since the All-Star break.
Look at the numbers. In fact, the middle of the diamond for the Blue Jays have been swinging it. Aledmus Diaz, 7 home runs since the All-Star break, hitting .273 with runners in scoring position, teaming up with Devin Travis, putting the Blue Jays offense, giving them a little kickstart every time he swings the bat. Be careful on this first pitch. This is where he likes to do most of his damage.
Nobody out. Ground ball. This could be 2. Mondesi to second for 1. Field at first, a double play. Teoscar Hernandez comes in to score. No RBI for Diaz, but the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Double play, 6-4-3, and the run comes in.
One of the things that Phil Meyer has been able to do in his young career is limit base hits with runners in scoring position. They aren't hitting very much against him. He's been able to make plays and make pitches. Just a 194 batting average against him with runners in scoring position, and that double play helps him out.
Here's Kevin Pillar. We mentioned his good numbers against the Royals. 6 for 16 this season against Kansas City. Overall, 244 for Pillar. Chance to deliver here with 2 outs. Breaking ball. That's going to get down for a base hit. Here comes Morales. He's going to score. Kevin Pillar has made it a 2-0 game. Did a good job of waiting back on that breaking ball. So 2-0, and Danny Jansen, the rookie catcher, will step to the plate in his second big league game. He had a big debut last night.
He said he had a lot of fun, and that's the most important thing. He had a good time. He was relaxed. This is his first major league at bat. Singles into left field, and he also had a single up the third base line, an infield hit, and oh yeah, defensively he's got a good throwing arm. He gets his first base runner trying to steal against him. But again, he had a lot of fun. He was relaxed. He said the game got a little bit slower as it went along, and I think he showed enough for everybody that he can play at this level.
Well, obviously it's just one game, but he certainly looked comfortable. It's the 19th time a Blue Jays player has come up with 2 hits in his major league debut. He had his parents here. His grandmother is here. He teamed up with Sean Reed Foley for the first time in franchise history. The Blue Jays had a battery that made their major league debut.
You know what he has? He has a good feel for the game. He adapts well, and it looks like he's grown up around the game, and it's not too big for him.
Danny said his father played baseball, his brother played baseball. They all had dreams of playing in the major leagues, and he was thrilled that he could share that great game last night with his family. Everybody was here to take it all in. Out in front of that off-speed pitch, he pops it up. Mondesi, the shortstop, going out. And that'll end the inning. But it's a good inning for the Blue Jays. Back-to-back walks to start the inning. They both come around to score. Kevin Pillar with an RBI single. 2-0 Jays.
Danny Jansen, while Borucki describes Jansen as his best friend, not only in baseball, but in life. Borucki says Jansen knows his game, quote, knows me like the back of his hand. We think alike, which gives me a ton of confidence when I'm out there on the mound. Off the field, Borucki credits Jansen for bringing such a positive presence into the clubhouse. He's always happy. You never know whether he had no hits or 4 hits in the game the night before because he arrives to the ballpark the same guy every day. The battery mates have been together since their days with Bluefield. Borucki still remembers when Jansen walked into his room and introduced himself. The two have remained close ever since, and Buck, you have to think tonight means so much to the both of them and to their families as well. The two families have grown also very close during their time.
Yeah, they sure have, and both these guys are born in the Chicago area, and they grew up in the upper Midwest. Borucki, last time he pitched to Jansen was the 19th of June, pitching for Buffalo at Pawtucket. He threw a complete game, 7-inning, 3-hit shutout. And that was his last AAA game. In that game, Danny Jansen went 2 for 3 with a double. So they have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, let's watch them work together. How many times he shakes them off. Boy, that's a good pitch.
That is a very good pitch. And you look at the StatCast strike zone, looks like it should be strike 3. This is Jorge Bonifacio. Another pitch down. Blue Jays had Bonifacio's older brother in Toronto, Emilio Bonifacio. There's another pitch. That's a strike.
Come on. Well, that's where you want to live, I think, as a pitcher, down there. You're not going to get hurt. Marvin Hudson has always been known as a very tight umpire, very small strike zone, and I think the hitters know that. Bonifacio knows that, lays off those borderline pitches.
This is Rosel Herrera, a switch hitter, batting right-handed. Herrera. Last night in right field, and he had a single, walked. He was officially 1 for 3. He was thrown out by Danny Jansen trying to steal.
Both of these pitchers, Phil Meyer and Borucki, known to be strike throwers, and Phil Meyer walked the first 2 in the second inning. They came around to score. Now a couple of close pitches has resulted in another walk to lead off the second inning.
Ball and a strike now.
Hitters will pick up on that. They'll understand that the strike zone is not too big, so they're going to be very picky at the plate.
Herrera was picked up on waivers on the 2nd of June from the Cincinnati Reds. Breaking ball outside. 2-1 now. Herrera's just 25 years old. He's played second, he's played third, center field, and right. Very versatile guy. We're seeing more and more of this every day on teams all around baseball. Managers love to have that versatility. And then it's an added bonus when the player is a switch hitter like Herrera. 3-1 now. Bonifacio is not a base stealing threat. He doesn't have an attempt this year. Off speed pitch. Now Jansen and Borucki have been doing that to hitters throughout their minor league career.
Shows a lot of confidence in throwing that changeup any time. Basically fastball, slider, changeup, and in fastball counts, throw a changeup. Here comes another one.
Outside. So back-to-back walks issued by Borucki. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jay Happ is pitching for the Yankees. He's allowed just 1 hit through 6 innings. He's walked 4, but has not allowed anybody to score.
His second start since coming off the disabled list.
Hunter Dozier inside. Boroughi still finding that release point. Hasn't really zeroed in on it yet.
He had a very quick first inning. What did he throw? 8 pitches in the first inning. Now hasn't been able to find the plate. Hey, all it takes is just one pitch right here. Get that ground ball.
Fly ball, not deep. Hernandez coming in. He will get there and make the catch. Another off-speed pitch fooled the hitter Dozier. We have seen it consistently with Ryan Boroughi. This is just his 9th big league start. Obviously, it's a small sample. But we have never seen him get rattled. Against the Tigers, he had the bases loaded, gave up a run, and then got a 1-2-3 double play to get out of it. Just always thinks about the next pitch, never worries about the last one.
You know what he can do is he can make adjustments on the mound. As a pitcher, have a feel for your body and what you're doing wrong and why you're not throwing strikes. He has that ability to adjust on the mound.
Brett Phillips takes a breaking ball.
You know, some players, some athletes have to have coaches tell them, hey, you're opening up too quickly or your stride is too big. Then there are other athletes, and I think Ryan Boroughi's one of them, who can self-coach themselves.
Good block by Jansen. He smothered that breaking ball. I agree with you 100%. I think Ryan Boroughi has a real good feel for making adjustments during the course of an inning, during the course of an at-bat.
This time he wanted that breaking ball a little bit further from Phillips, wanting to get the strikeout. Helped out by his teammate right there blocking that ball. You know, the good ones, they don't need coaches to tell them. They just feel that something's not right and they know where to go to. Good pitch.
Boy, that is a very conservative strike zone that we've seen from Marvin Hudson behind the plate for Boroughi. Two and two now.
He had him set up for that high fastball like that, just didn't get the call.
Came back with it and missed. 3-2 now.
Well, it's unfortunate for a young player like that. You make good pitches like that and you can't get the call.
And 2, you've got a catcher catching his second big league game, so he's not really comfortable having a conversation about the strike zone just yet. Ground ball. This will be 2. Diaz steps on the bag, goes to first, the double play. Again, Boroughi pitches out of a jam, gives up back-to-back walks and strands a pair. Diaz starts the double play and finishes it. Aledmus Diaz has been rock solid defensively at shortstop, picks it up, steps on the bag, and goes to first to end the inning. Still 2-0 Blue Jays.
August 24th, 2 events, 1 night. Join us pregame for a live performance from the Trues. Weather permitting, the patio opens at 4:30 Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel, as it has turned into a very comfortable evening here. The rain has stopped. It's cooled off a bit. We were delayed probably about 45 minutes, maybe not even that long, 40 minutes or so. But it's a perfect night right now. Curtis Granderson, he grounded out to first baseman, his only time up. Granderson did something very special today. He organized a trip for his teammates and the coaching staff and anybody that wanted to go to the Kansas City Negro League Baseball Museum. Something he started doing back in 2006, his rookie season. He said they had about 30 people, including players and staff, that went to the museum. They met with the president of the museum, Bob Kendrick, and they had a private tour, and it was very educational.
Yeah, all the history that they learned that Bob was able to talk to all the kids about and learn about the great history of this game. And he said he's been doing it since 2006. He's taken his Tiger teams here, his Met teams, his Yankee teams, and he wanted to do it for the Blue Jays. He said, I thought it was important for people to know the history of the Negro Leagues.
Kansas City was such a big part of it, of course. The Kansas City Monarchs here. Buck O'Neil was the longtime manager of the Kansas City Monarchs, and Satchel Paige pitched here in Kansas City. One of the great players, of course, in the history of baseball, restricted to playing in the Negro Leagues.
He does so many things that the fans don't see that are so good. And that's just another one. And we weren't surprised when we heard that it was Curtis Granderson.
See that red seat there? That is what they call the legacy seat. That was the seat that the late Buck O'Neil used to sit in. And he would scout here later on in his career. Class act of gentleman, a terrific baseball historian in his own right, the late Buck O'Neil. Devin Travis, ball and a strike. Travis was robbed of an extra base hit his first time up. Hit one down the third baseline, and Escobar made a nice play of it. What works for a hitter that's in a groove like Devin's is right now? What's clicking for him right now?
Well, you can see how patient he is at the plate. He's upright. He's a little bit more on the plate, but it's the timing. Watch the movement he has in his swing right there to get the timing going. Unfortunately, he found that one off the top of his shoe. But early on, it looked like he was seeing the ball, then he was moving, and he just couldn't hit anything very hard. Now he's got that pre-movement swinging, and he's getting his lower half into it, and he credits Kendrys Morales a lot. Not about talking about swing mechanics or philosophy or anything like that. Just about Kendrys Morales, how he goes out every day and works, and how he takes his batting practice very seriously and works trying to hit the ball the other way. He says, I'm just trying to hit the ball hard to right center field. Kendrys is another one of those veterans who doesn't say a lot, but carries a lot of weight in this clubhouse. The young players,
that one's foul.
The young players really respect him, and if they have something they need to go to, they have resources in Curtis Granderson and Kendrys Morales to go to help them through it all.
Well, if you don't pay attention to the veterans, Morales and Granderson on this team, then you really are wasting a great opportunity. Up the middle, not hit that sharply. Mondesi will go to first. Makes a nice play. Well, there's a good instinctive play. That ball wasn't hit that sharply. He had to dive for it. He fielded it behind second. The only play he had was to go to first, then he made it.
Yeah, he had no chance really to get that runner at second base. His body just wasn't in position to make the throw to second base when he caught it. Watch. That ball squibbed behind the bag. There was no way he was going to be able to shovel that ball to second base and get that lead runner. But instinctively, he went over to first base to record the out. That's two plays now where Devin Travis has been robbed of base hits tonight by good plays.
Well, the good thing is he's hit the ball well twice. Justin Smoak struck out his first time up. In fact, a running fastball down and away that he swung at and missed. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead.
Runner at second base, and they're still going to shift, but that's Mondesi, the second baseman, now behind second base, the shortstop, trying to keep Granderson close. StatCast AI is powered by AWS, and you can see from that one, anything on the right side, Granderson is not going to be able to score.
Line drive to right field. That's going to get over the head of the right fielder, Bonifacio. Granderson had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught. Now he doesn't score. The throw went into second. And Smoak with a long double. Granderson held up initially because he thought there was a chance for the catch in right. And then he came around and the throw went to second base. He should have been able to score on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just didn't get a good read on that ball off the bat. Bonifacio is not going to catch this line drive, and there's the reaction. The first reaction, what you want to do is bounce off, and as that outfielder gets closer to the ball, you get closer to second base. But Justin Smoak should have an RBI right there, and Blue Jays should have another run.
32nd double of the season for Smoak. That forces the Royals to play the infield in for Hernandez. One out. Teoscar walked and scored the first run of this game, back in the second. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. Hernandez, as productive as his season has not been able to hit consistently with runners in scoring position. Overall, he's at 189 batting with runners in scoring position.
He has an outstanding chance here to drive in some runs, and it's pretty obvious what they're going to try and do now. High fastballs and then breaking balls down. He couldn't hold his swing up on that check swing, and now he's in the hole.
You see the reaction of the bench. Blue Jays didn't think that he swung at that last pitch, but Hernandez is in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They went around again. The first base umpire, Chris Sagal, called for 2 borderline check swings, and Hernandez just strikes out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, that was a great starting matchup to begin. Porcello against Pavetta. The Phillies are 38-18 at home. Best home record in the National League. But they trail, and that appeared to be a check swing. It's called a swing, and Hernandez is called out. Breaking ball for strike 1. I mentioned Morales and his steady demeanor. This is his 12th big league season. He's had a lot of experience. He's had over 5,000 plate appearances. Oh, and 2. Phil Meyer trying to strand a couple of board. The Blue Jays got a leadoff walk. Granderson walked, and then Travis was retired on a good play by the shortstop Mondesi. Smoak hit a double, but Granderson stopped at third, and then Teoscar Hernandez struck out.
Blue Jays have to score here. You got runners like this in RBI situations. You have to figure out a way. Kendrys has always been a good RBI man in his career. He's got some work to do now.
Morales had one of his 2 100 RBI seasons playing here in Kansas City. 2015, part of that World Series team. In fact, he was the Silver Slugger that year as the DH in the American League. Hit 22 home runs in this big ballpark.
No wonder he gets a standing ovation still from these fans. I know he's upset with himself after that last swing. That was a hanging breaking ball, and he missed it. He had a chance right there to knock in a couple of runs on a good pitch.
Morales hit 4 home runs in the postseason in 2015. He had a big series against the Houston Astros in the division series that year. He had 5 hits. 3 of those hits were home runs. Blue Jays have a lead, but they have a golden opportunity to add to that lead. But now they'll have to do it with 2 outs. Inside. Granderson still at third. Smoak's at second. Good take. Ball's inside. Meyer was headed toward the dugout. But it's been a tight strike zone early in this game. Marvin Hudson is the home plate umpire.
Why would you even swing at those borderline pitches? You know they're going to be called a ball, so Morales knows that. He takes it all away. Meyer thought it was strike 3 and was walking off the mound.
Full count. Ball 4. So Morales walks for his second time. That's 4 walks in 2 1/3 by Meyer. Blue Jays got to take advantage of this. They got the bases loaded again. Russ Martin had a base hit his first time up. He's reached base now in 12 straight games.
You know, he sees a lot of pitches, and we talk about that almost nightly. But in these situations here, this is where Russell gets really dangerous. When he's got runners on base and the pitcher, he can sense that he's struggling.
Now is where the rookie pitcher will lean heavily on Sal Perez to get him out of this situation.
You see Perez nodding his head like, come on, give it to me right here.
First pitch breaking ball. That's the experience of Perez, not giving in to Martin on the first pitch. Russ has got to pick him up now. Deliver a 2-out hit here. He's been swinging the bat well. Breaking ball. Granderson's at third. Smoak's at second. Morales at first base. Boy, look at the hands of Perez. That ball was away, but he turned his hands and just smothered that ball to keep it in front of it.
Yeah, all the way around. You got your thumb up to catch it. Now you got to bring it all the way back down and point it straight down. Yeah, he's in line for another Gold Glove, if you ask me. He's been the best catcher that we have seen so far in the American League.
Took a little off that pitch and got a foul ball from the bat of Russell Martin. So it's 2-2 now. But you're right, Sal Perez had won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves until last year when Martin Maldonado snapped that streak. But I agree with you. I mean, he throws to the bases a lot, and he has not committed an error.
He takes charge behind the plate. I mean, he's running a show back there. Who has been better this year? We've seen them all. Nobody.
You see, Perez shaking his head to get the pitcher to shake his head, and he hadn't even given him a sign. He just wants Russell Martin to think about the possibilities here. That's going to force in a run. Granderson will come in to score. Martin hit by a pitch. He'll be credited with an RBI for Martin. That's his 25th. And the Blue Jays have taken advantage of Phil Meyer's wildness here early. Phil Meyer has walked 4. Now he's hit a batter. And the Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead.
Those are the tough RBIs right there. I'm not sure if Russell wears one of those elbow pads, but it looked like it got up around that area. Tough way to pick up an RBI, but he'll do it. He's holding his wrist.
Yeah, he might have got hit down around the hand.
Well, two-seam fastball up and in.
Oh, it looked like it was the back of the arm, right? Just above the elbow.
You know what happens when you get hit there? Your whole arm goes numb, and you can't feel it for a while. So maybe he was moving his hand just a little bit to get the feeling back in that arm.
Russell's been hit 6 times this season. That's the most for any Blue Jay hitter. And you compound the situation because he's a catcher. Takes a lot of foul balls and he's got bumps and bruises all over his body.
Playing third base must feel like an off day for him.
It does. I promise you. Aledmus Diaz grounded into a double play his first time up. Chance to atone for that right here. Got it busted wide open here in the 3rd inning. Perez saved another run. Diaz with 15 home runs, just 2 off his career high set 2 years ago playing for the Cardinals. And look at the technique. Yeah, he's a big guy, but he does it properly to keep that ball in front of him.
It's like a giant backstop back there. You throw it, you know you're going to bounce it off the wall.
Drilled but foul down the left side. Yeah, it's like one of those old pitchbacks we used to throw to as kids. You play catch by yourself, go out, throw it up against that net, and bounce right back to you. That's like having Sal Perez behind the plate.
Yeah, you can feel pretty confident bouncing a ball in front of home plate with him back there. 1-2. Diaz has been swinging a hot bat for the Blue Jays. Coming up with some big hits and a lot of extra base hits too.
This time he strikes out. The Blue Jays get a run, but they leave the bases loaded. Ryan Borucki has a 3-0 lead as the Royals are set to bat in the bottom of the 3rd here in Kansas City.
The Premier League, right here on Sportsnet and Sportsnet World.
Sportsnet has just about everything covered, and obviously the Premier League, one of the great sporting leagues in all of sports. Ryan Borucki, he's been staked to an early lead. He's had a little trouble getting ahead of hitters so far in this ballgame. Alcides Escobar takes the first pitch strike.
You know, that's been the difference in the game already. First 2 walks to lead off the top of the inning. The second inning came around to score. Borucki walked the first 2 batters in the second inning, but he found a way to get out of it.
Little squibber out in front of home. Borucki's throw to first just in time. They got off the mound in good shape and picked it up and fired a strike to first.
His expression never changes. He's the same guy, win, lose, walk, hit, or a great play. He created a nice little angle right there to throw the ball to Justin Smoak to the inside.
You know, you and I have a chance to talk to these guys almost every day, and I talked to Ryan yesterday, and I was asking him, I said, you know, you really never show much emotion. He said, before that first start, all I could think about was, don't give up a home run to the first man you face in the big leagues, George Springer. There's a hot shot past Martin down the left field line. Mondesi is around first. He's headed for second. He'll stop there for Mondesi. That's his 7th double. That's the first base hit for Kansas City.
And Russell almost came up with that one. A hot smash. Looked like it might have broke his bat just a little bit. This ball cutting on the inside part of the plate. You can see a little bit of the bat shatter. But right by Russell, who has caught everything so far this season. Can't come up with that one.
Mondesi with a 1-out double now. Top of the order. Whit Merrifield grounded out to Martin at third base. Interesting how we have seen Borucki make adjustments, and we talked about first pitch strikes, and he's thrown 3 first pitch strikes this inning. There goes the runner to third. Jansen's throw is not in time. Mondesi picks up his 13th stolen base of the season. He slides in ahead of the throw at third.
Good time to go. You don't want to make the first or the last out over at third base, but if you have a chance to get to third base with less than 2 outs, you take it. He slides ahead of the throw. He got a good jump there again. He's right in the baseline. That should be automatic for one of the infielders to put a pickoff play on. When you see a base runner like they take their lead at second base in the baseline, they're thinking about trying to steal.
That's a great point. If they're not thinking about that, they'll be behind the baseline to get an angle on third base, thinking about scoring on a base hit. There's a little flare. That's going to drop off the bat of Merrifield. Mondesi's in to score with Merrifield. We mentioned his average, the 4th best in the American League batting against lefty pitching. He delivers an RBI single with 1 out here in the third.
Wasn't hit that hard. He's hitting 352 against left-handed pitching, and with hits like this, that's what helps you to hit 352. Inside out swing. Just dumps that ball out of the reach of Justin Smoak to right field. That'll be his 38th RBI this season, and the Royals are on the board.
3-1. Blue Jays have the lead. There goes the runner. The throw to second is not in time. Merrifield looked like he wanted to run all night last night, and he was finally thrown out at third trying to steal, but here he picks up his 26th stolen base of the season.
Yeah, he went on the first move of Ryan Borucki, and it was a pretty good pitch to throw on, but Jansen double clutched 1, 2, and that's all that Merrifield needed to get his 26th stolen base of the season.
Alex Gordon hit it sharply right to the first baseman. He lined out to Smoak in the first inning.
Left-handed batter up now, so that open window now for the third baseman, for if they try to steal third, for the catcher to throw to third base, I mean, he's in the baseline again, but I don't know if they're going to try and steal with a left-handed hitter at the plate.
Ground ball, base hit through the right side. Merrifield is around third. Granderson's coming up with the throw. It's going to be cut off. It's a 3-2 ball game. Alex Gordon with his 29th RBI of the season.
And the stolen base has been very prominent this inning for the Royals. Mondesi steals third and scores on the hit by Merrifield. Merrifield steals second base, and now he's going to score on the hit by Gordon. They've got the shift going against Gordon. He crosses him up by somehow getting it through the right side. That'll bring Pete Walker to the mound to have a quick chat with his young lefty.
The hits are even now at 3 apiece. And here's Hassam Perez. Perez hit a routine fly ball to left field to end the bottom of the first inning. He goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Checking with the umpire to see where that pitch was. It was on the plate. Oh, 0-2 now. Alex Gordon will run from time to time. He ran more earlier in his career, but he has 4 stolen bases this season.
I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he takes off. That's been their electric point this inning to help them get those extra bases. Gordon's out there trying to measure them. They are in the shift, so if he does go, it's going to be Devin Travis who will cover at second base. Travis also going to take the pick off at first base if they happen to pick him off.
Breaking ball. Another foul back to the screen. Perez is in his 8th season. He's been an All-Star 6 times in those 8 seasons. He's the benchmark for catchers in the major leagues.
Can hit a little bit too. Got 19 home runs this year.
Ripped foul just beyond the netting down the third baseline. Yeah, you mentioned 19 home runs. He's had 20 or more home runs in his last 3 seasons. So that's quite a combination of power and defensive skills they have behind the plate.
And that's saying something, hitting that many home runs in this ballpark. Always been a big ballpark. 27 home runs last year. That set career highs in homers and RBIs and slugging percentage for Big South.
Well, he's fighting tough against Borucki here. He's fouled off some borderline pitches. You can see nothing over the plate. Borucki's been working the edges very effectively in this at-bat. Another breaking ball, another foul ball. When Perez first came up in 2011, he was just 21 years old. Matt Trainer and Brian Pena were the catchers, so he was the 3rd catcher that first season. Then they eased him into 76 games in 12, and then he took over as the everyday player in 13. Line drive, that's going to get down and go past Granderson all the way to the wall. Gordon is being waved around third. Granderson's throw to the cutoff man over Travis's head, and Alex Gordon has tied it up. Gordon scores the tying run as Perez had a heck of an at-bat against Baraki. It ends up with an RBI double down the right field line.
You know, after that last foul ball, I caught him telling himself, Perez, hey, stay inside the ball and hit the ball to right field, and that's exactly what he does. That ball down and away, and he slices it to right field. Gordon gets a good read on that ball, says, I could score on this one, and when it gets stuck down in that corner, that's a tricky little corner down there, Gordon can circle the bases and tie this game up.
For Perez, RBI number 56, and this is Jorge Bonifacio. High and deep to center field. Pilar all the way onto the warning track. Perez goes back to tag at second and goes over to third with a head first slide. That's a big ballpark. And that ball was right onto the warning track in deep right center. Perez, right at the last minute, had time to go back and tag up and advance once Pilar made the catch.
The Kansas City Royals, every day during batting practice, come out here and run the bases. They'll take plays at second and third, but look at Perez, the runner at second. The closer the outfielder gets to the ball, the closer you go to the base. He read it perfectly, and he can tag up on a long fly ball. How many times have we seen runners this year get caught up between second and third, not really sure what to do on those long fly balls into the gaps? He was perfect. That was read perfectly, and he does that because they practice it every day.
Yeah, when you do it in practice, it becomes second nature to do it during the game. Marcel Herrera.
Now you might tell yourself, well, what's the big difference of tagging up from second and going to third? There's so many different ways to score from third base. So many more than at second base. You can score on a wild pitch.
This is down the right side, but that is going to slice out a play.
You can score on an error. You can score on a balk. I mean, there's so many different ways you could score from third than you can from second. Basically, the only way from second is a base hit.
And you might not score on a base hit.
So a heads-up play for Perez. When you don't hit a lot of home runs or score a lot of runs, you got to do the little things. And the Royals have been doing a lot of little things.
And that's pretty good testimony to the character of Sal Perez. His team has 36 wins for the season. And he's tagging up on a long fly ball to move over to third so he can get in position with 2 outs to score on anything. Been a long inning for Baraki. He retired the first man on a nice defensive play that he pulled off. A little squib out in front of him. Alex Gordon had a base hit. One hopper to Travis. That'll end the inning, but Kansas City scores 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave a base runner. It's a 3-3 ball game.
5585 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching tonight's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Your code must be entered by 4 a.m. Bye.
Give me a mud chase, though. It is a 3-3 game. We head to the top of the fourth. Kevin Pillar will lead things off for the Blue Jays and an RBI single. Back in the second inning. So it'll be Pillar, Jansen, and then the leadoff man, Curtis Granderson. Pillar goes after the first pitch and hits it deep to center field. Phillips is back at the track, makes the catch. One away.
The 2018 Honda CR-V, where style and versatility come together.
When you come to Kansas City, you got to try out the barbecue because it's the best in the country. And they have a lot of options right here at the ballpark. And you can get a taste of Kansas City right here at the concession stands. Danny Jansen, the catcher.
If you like red meat, this is the place to be right here in Kansas City. They've got places everywhere for you to enjoy that.
Off the plate, 1-1. Jansen popped out his first time up. Perez exaggerating the fact he wanted that breaking ball down and away. Used his bare hand just to say, give it to me down. Now he wants this one up.
Give it to me up.
Swing and a drive. Get up, ball. Get out of here. This one is gone. Danny Jansen, his first big league home run.
What a thing of beauty.
Mom and Dad are celebrating. That's awesome. Jansen, his first career home run, has broken the tie.
Well, that's how you hit a mistake, and he's been hitting mistakes for a couple of years now since he got that vision corrected. A Blue Jay fan caught that, and the bullpen is asking for the baseball. There you go. Let's make a trade.
They're going to switch that ball and get the home run ball back. And now,
there you go. First major league home run.
That's awesome. And he wants, maybe he wants some autographs or something, but whatever. Get the ball back for Danny. Curtis Granderson hits it off the end of the bat. It's got a lot of English on it. Mondesi with a good arm throws him out. 2 away.
You know what was impressive about that home run? First of all, the pitch before, breaking ball down, a bad swing. Totally fooled on that breaking ball. So they try to go fastball up. He doesn't get it up high enough. He just connects and reacts to that ball. He wants it up. It's right there. That's a reaction home run. Just quicken up your swing, shorten it up. First big league homer.
Danny Jansen hit 12 home runs in AAA Buffalo. And now he has a big league home run. His third major league hit. You know what's really cool about it? Mom and Dad are here, his brother's here, Grandma's here. Everybody got a chance to see his first game and his first big league home run.
Says his brother lives about 40 minutes north of here. So, you know, he's here and enjoying the sights.
Travis hits it to center field. A nice running catch by Phillips, the center fielder. He just barely made that catch. He extended and makes the catch to end the inning. But the Blue Jays have retaken the lead. The Jansen family celebrating Danny Jansen's first big league home run. That has given the Blue Jays a 4-3 lead. Jansen.
Really couldn't feel his body. He was so nervous, felt like his legs weren't really working. His debut didn't really sink in until he looked in for his warm-up pitches, and Jansen appeared very small amid the rows of fans in the background. Quote, "I knew I was definitely not in Buffalo anymore." According to Reed Foley, he was sweating pretty bad. He really couldn't get a grip on the ball. In the first couple of innings, it definitely showed as he thought his pitches were flat. Now, when he was in that bases-loaded jam, Jansen came out to settle him down, and so did Russ Martin. And the message was, compete, let's go, compete. That really helped, Reed Foley said, Buck. You could tell by the way he was pitching the rest of the way.
Yeah, and obviously his first game under his belt, but if he thinks it's a supercharged atmosphere here in Kansas City, wait till Saturday.
His next start, who's he going to be matched up against? Severino?
Severino, that guy that pitches for the Yankees, the All-Star. Yeah, it'll be Yankee Stadium, and it'll be a totally different atmosphere. Ryan Barucki once again pitching with the lead. He gets ahead of Hunter Dozier, the first baseman. Breaking ball. Dozier wouldn't go after it. It's 2-2. Full count now to the leadoff man here in the fourth inning. Kansas City scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the third inning to tie it. Ground ball. That's a fair ball. Nice play by Martin. Long throw. What a play! Russell Martin did a terrific job first of catching the ball, and then planted his right foot and used that catcher's arm to fire a seed across the diamond.
Yeah, first of all, Kansas City they're thinking about looking at it. Russell backhand set, and I love the arm all the way across the diamond. A great stretch by Smoak to get the out over at first base. He took a hit away from Sal Perez in last night's game. He takes a hit away from Hunter Dozier here in the fourth inning.
Well, that was a good play. Think about the consequences of Martin not making that play. It's probably a double to start the inning, and just like that, the Royals got a chance to tie it up once again.
He has told us for a couple of years now, hey, I can play third base. And I think everybody doubted him, but his manager, he's put him out there. He's going to play third base now. While Solarte is on the disabled list.
Ground ball up the middle. Diaz coming across from short makes another fine defensive play. 2 away.
Take on any project with Home Hardware, proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how.
Kansas City, Missouri. We're on the Missouri side of the state line. 2 outs. Escobar takes one away. Now, Cedes Escobar, Blue Jays know him well from that ALCS in 2015, and he was a terrific hitter against the Jays in that postseason. He is a cousin of Kelvin Escobar, who formerly pitched with the Blue Jays. And he's a cousin of Ronald Acuna Jr., who has really become a teenage hit down in Atlanta. He had another home run tonight, Pat.
Speaking of hit, he got another one tonight, didn't he?
He laid off home run tonight. He had a home run at each end of the doubleheader yesterday, and he homered in his first at bat tonight. That ball is going to get down in the left field line. Hernandez over to play it back in, but Escobar will stop at second with a 2-out double. His 15th double of the season.
It's amazing at the major league level, you make one mistake and it can cost you. He had thrown a couple of really good pitches to Escobar and got ahead. And then the minute he elevated a pitch, Escobar's going to whack it down the left field line for extra bases. Maybe the biggest jump in the minor leagues, that final jump from AAA to the major leagues. You're playing against veteran players, great players. And you don't have to be perfect, but you got to make pitches.
Yeah, it's just about location. We've talked about it. Velocity is probably the least important thing. Location and movement would be 1 and 2, and then velocity probably fall in line third.
Yeah, and being able to change speeds and upset the timing of those hitters, I think that's a big thing also. And Ryan has all of those attributes to be a successful major league pitcher.
You saw the Royals ask for that ball that Escobar hit. The significance of that double is that double allows him to become the 11th Royal with 200 doubles, including 198 as a shortstop. Second in the majors at shortstop since 2011, so that was a milestone double for Escobar.
He's turned into a good player. They got him from the Milwaukee Brewers in the Zach Greinke trade a few years ago.
Yeah, that trade was a terrific trade. Lorenzo Cain, Jeremy Jeffers, Jake Odorizzi all coming to Kansas City for Zach Greinke. Interesting thing now is Cain's back in Milwaukee. Jeffers is back in Milwaukee. And they're playing for a postseason berth. There's a base hit that's going to sneak through. Here comes Escobar around to score, and Mondesi with an RBI single has tied it up with 2 outs here in the 4th. It's a 4-4 game. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's a special young player, Ronald Acuna Jr., and they have really allowed him to flourish since they put him in the leadoff spot. He's 3 for 5 tonight with 4 RBIs. Acuna, 2 home runs. He's got 19 on the season.
Yeah, and he just turned 20 years old. Pretty impressive stuff for a first-year player.
Acuna Jr. did not come up to the Braves until April 25th. So he missed just about a month to start the season, and he still got 19 home runs.
They'll be able to keep him an extra year now. Pete Walker out to the mound to talk to Borucki. At some point early on in this at-bat, he has to throw over to first base. You know Mondesi wants to get into scoring position.
Mondesi stole third last inning, and that was exactly the message. Got to make him stop over there.
Yeah, that was just a pedestrian throw over to first base. Now give him your good one.
goes to first. Mondesi is going to beat the throw. Mondesi going on first move, even though Borucki threw to first base. Mondesi beat Smoak's throw into second.
As a pitcher, you got to be able to control that running game, and there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can hold the ball a little bit longer. You can quick pitch. You can throw over a little bit quicker. You can step off and throw over. That time he elects to just throw over once again. As soon as he picks up that front leg, Mondesi with outstanding speed hustles into second base with another stolen base.
Third stolen base for Kansas City. Mondesi has a pair. Merrifield has the other. Here again, the value of a stolen base. Not only do you gain 90 feet, but you also distract the pitcher. Take him away from his focus on the hitter.
With that concentration against a pretty good hitter against left-handed pitching this year.
Mondesi thought about it, but Jansen kept it close enough, so he holds at second. Merrifield is 1 for 2. Came in batting .352 against lefty pitching. That's best, fourth best in the American League. Mondesi at second. He has a double and an RBI single in his 2 at-bats.
And now you can see the difference in his lead. Remember, when he stole third, he was in the baseline between second and third. Now he's taking a more traditional lead at second base, where he is behind the baseline to help him get into that turn at third. We'll put him on.
So Merrifield will be given the intentional pass, and they'll try their luck with the left-hander, Alex Gordon. Gordon with an RBI single his last time up. Blue Jays bullpen starting to move around down in the left field bullpen. Borucki has thrown 71 pitches. Not a ridiculously high amount, but he has walked 3, 1 intentional. Mondesi broke from second, and Merrifield was zeroed in on him. He almost took off without Mondesi stealing.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of sign from that lead runner that I'm going to be going, to let that back runner know so he doesn't get caught. See Justin Smoak coming in behind him now. That wouldn't be a bad idea, to throw a pickoff play on at first base with the catcher. Throw something up and in to Alex Gordon and see if Smokey can slide in behind him.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Joe Biagini, the first Blue Jay reliever to warm up tonight. Three and 1 now. Gordon walks. Back-to-back walks here in the 4th, and got to load the bases. All of this happening with 2 outs. Borucki got Dozier. Nice play by Martin at third. Another good play up the middle by the shortstop, retired Phillips. And then Mondesi Escobar hits a double. Mondesi drove him in with a single. Merrifield given the free pass, and then Gordon's walked.
Yeah, and they're asking Joe Biagini to hurry up and get loose now. You got a tough right-handers coming up in Perez and Bonifacio. I thought they might have him ready for this batter right here if it came to it, but he just got up.
Well, they had 2 quick outs, and you think, oh, he'll get one of these next guys out, get out of it. So Biagini's not ready. Perez had a terrific at bat his last time up, fouling off pitch after pitch, and then finally driving one down the right field line for an RBI double.
This is now his 3rd at bat against Borucki, so he has a pretty good idea of how he's going to pitch to him. He doubled and tagged up last time on the bases. There are his numbers in his career. Over 300 with the bases loaded with a couple of home runs.
Off-speed pitch is pulled foul. Borucki came in this game holding opponents to a .233 average with runners in scoring position, and he's been fairly consistent in his ability to get out of these tough jams. 1-1 pitch. Foul back. Well, Perez had an extended at bat last time, and he looks like he's on Borucki in this at bat.
Long swings early in the count. Now he's down to 2 strikes. That last at bat that you were just talking about was a 2-strike approach. And that's why you hit the ball hard the other way with 2 strikes, fouled off a lot of pitches to get back into the count. He'll swing early, trying to do some damage, but then we'll cut things down the longer you get into an at-bat.
Lays off that changeup. Borucki calls Jansen out. Ryan on this 3-2 pitch wanted to make sure that he and Jansen are on the same page. Mondesi's at 3rd. Merrifield's at 2nd, and Alex Gordon is at 1st. Bases are loaded. It's a full count with 2 outs, so the runners will be moving on the pitch. It's a 4-4 game. There go the runners. Strike 3 call. Well, Borucki, whatever he had on his mind, he called his catcher out and says, I got an idea. And he's able to strand the bases loaded, but the Kansas City Royals have tied it up. We'll go to the 5th. It's 4-4. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Camp with Joe Siddle from
Visit 787.westjet.com to see the whole story.
Tie ball game again. Kansas City. They had 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning to tie it up 3-3. Blue Jays took a lead with a run in the 4th, and Kansas City's tied it up. So it'll be Smoak leading things off. It'll be Smoak, Hernandez, and Morales. Justin had a double in the 3rd inning. His 32nd double of the season. Heath Philmeyer has thrown 80 pitches now, and that breaking ball is up and away.
Both of these starters tonight have really had trouble finding the strike zone. Looks like Barocchi's night might be over.
Yeah, Biagini continues to throw down in that bullpen, but he might not have felt good and just asked to throw a few more pitches. We have not seen any indication that Barocchi's out of the game yet. Boy, that ball got under the glove of Escobar, and it looked like a catchable ball. Just kind of sunk under his glove. Looked like he expected to catch it and then just didn't stay with it, so Smoak benefits from that.
Looked like he was surprised that Justin Smoak hit the ball his way. Look at him, he's getting ready, and then he doesn't really react like he's going to try and catch the ball. Backed up just a little bit. I think he was surprised that Smoak, a left-handed pull hitter, hit that ball that way.
He didn't move his feet. If he moves his feet and goes after that ball, he catches it easily. Teoscar Hernandez has walked and struck out. Ground ball. Mondesi to Merrifield to first base at double play. So that leadoff single is erased immediately on the next pitch. Hernandez bounces into the double play. Second turn by Kansas City tonight.
They now have turned 115 double plays. That's a lot of base runners, but they've also been able to get a lot of double plays out of it.
Yeah, that's kind of a deceiving number. Well, boy, they turn a lot of double plays. Yeah, they got base runners on every inning. They better turn a lot of double plays. Kendrys Morales has walked both times he's faced Philmeyer. Top of the 5th inning. Morales, they have stayed away from him exclusively. They throw him fastballs, but most of the fastballs have been off the plate.
But to his credit, he has laid off of them. Going back out there again. Eventually they're going to have to pitch to him. But I think that's the right way. Try to make him hit it to the big part of the ballpark. And how do you do that? Keep the ball away from him.
Bounces that breaking ball in the dirt, so Morales walks for the 3rd time. A 2-out walk. Cal Edred is the pitching coach. He's on the phone with the bullpen. He'll get somebody started down in their bullpen in right field. Russell Martin, he has singled and been hit by a pitch. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 3rd, picked up an RBI. Got hit in the back of the left arm. Jason Adamant. First one up for Kansas City. Tough breaking ball right on the outside corner.
He had a 1-2-3 inning to Phil Meyer, and he just hasn't been able to throw strikes consistently and attack the strike zone. It's almost like he's trying to avoid contact and nibble on the corners.
Yeah, that first inning was a breeze. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout, and since then he has walked 5 and hit a batter.
Giving up his share of hits, 4 of them, 5 of them counting the Smoak hit.
Martin pops it up on the right side of the infield. First baseman Hunter Dozier makes the catch. The inning is over. Blue Jays get a single, have a walk, leave a batter. Joe Biagini will take over for the Blue Jays in this 4-4 game.
Out of market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and others restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this very special offer.
Look at all those Blue Jay fans decked out in their red jerseys, having a good time here in Kansas City. There was some doubt as to whether or not we would play, but after about a 35-40 minute delay, we got baseball. And Joe Biagini will take over for Ryan Borucki here in the bottom of the 5th.
Joe last worked on Friday versus the Tampa Bay Rays. He threw 2 innings. It only took him 21 pitches. He got 5 ground ball outs. What he was doing was attacking them early with his fastball and throwing a lot of strikes. He said, here's my fastball, let's see what you can do with it. And he threw 2 very good innings, only gave up a double. That was it.
As a first pitch fastball to Bonifacio, fouled off the mask of Danny Jansen. Wow, that rocked his mask pretty well. It looked like it might have caught him on the shoulder as well.
Yeah, right into it. Marvin Hudson, the crew chief, who's working the plate, did the right thing. Went out there to buy a little time so Danny can get back to catching.
Another good fastball. You made a great point about Biagini. He's got a good fastball. He'll throw it 95, 96 miles an hour. And I think especially in this role now, working out of the bullpen, he should be more aggressive with his fastball.
I think he gets into trouble when he tries to sink it, he tries to cut it, he tries to throw a curveball. He was just, here's my fastball. Tampa Bay, let me see what you can do with it. And he had some very quick innings, got ahead and just finished him off by being very aggressive.
Curveball missed upstairs. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Bonifacio is 25 years old. He's from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Signed as an amateur free agent in December of 2009. He's made 24 5 starts in right field, 5 starts in left field. Remember when Emilio Bonifacio was playing with the Blue Jays, you and I would ask him about his younger brother who was in the minor leagues at that time. We said, is he like you? He said, oh no, he's big.
Totally different than me. He says, I'm a slap hitter and I can really run. He's got more power. He's bigger. He's built different than me. And he was the guy last year that really helped them, sparked them offensively. When you talk to some of the Kansas City Royal people, they say he puts up really good at bats. And he's putting up another good at bat here.
Bonifacio last year hit .255 with 17 home runs.
We had him elevated up in the strike zone or in the lineup, and he was able to go out there and have good at bats and really did some good things for him offensively last year.
Biagini flags it down. He'll throw to Smoak to retire Bonifacio. 1 away.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
We're in Kansas City. We're station downtown in Kansas City. We are about 10 miles to the east. This beautiful ballpark. This is the 46th year of Kauffman Stadium. This is the 50th year of the franchise. Their first season, 1969. Right back up the middle. Herrera has a 1-out single. His first hit of the night. Brian Borucki made his 9th start of the season tonight, and he got off to a good start, 3 up, 3 down in the first, but then he walked the first 2 batters of the second and was able to get out of it. But he last 4 innings, there was 81 pitches, charged with 4 earned runs on 6 hits. He walked 4 batters, 1 intensely, and that was one of his poorer outings, but he has been outstanding through 9 starts. He has had 6 quality starts out of those 9 big league starts.
The 4 walks really didn't hurt him because none of them came around to score against him. He was able to leave 4 runners on base. It was the stolen base that really did him in tonight.
Ground ball. Diaz hits short. Second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Well, what a nice feed Diaz gave Travis. He got to it very quickly. Knew he didn't have to really uncork a strong throw, but just threw a strike to Devin. Watch how Diaz comes after this ball very quickly. He knows he's got plenty of time, so he just throws a perfect strike to Travis right in his chest to complete the double play.
is at the ABC Supply 500. That's this Sunday on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360, starting at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
Thank you very much, Hazel. A beautiful shot of the fountains here at Kauffman Stadium. They put on a light show with the dancing waters in between every half inning. Been a big part of this ballpark since it opened. New pitcher is Jason Adamant, and he has been good his last several outings. A lot of strikeouts. He can rack up the strikeouts. Another rookie pitcher.
Yeah, he's the local boy. Born in Overland Park, Kansas, where a lot of the players live. He grew up a Royals fan. Was actually drafted by the Royals in 2010 out of high school. He's got a good arm. Big body, good arm.
He's 27 years old, so it's taken him a little bit longer. He's a 5th-round draft pick in 2010. Aledmus Diaz takes the breaking ball inside. Diaz is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. It's a 4-4 game. The Royals have out-hit the Blue Jays for a second straight night. Kind of a floating curveball. It starts at Diaz's shoulder and just breaks over the strike zone. Breaking ball in the air. Shallow left center. Gordon, the left fielder, comes in and makes the catch. 1 out. Let's check in again with Jamie Campbell. Happ improves to 13-6. His ERA is now at 3.86. Aroldis Chapman with his 31st save. And J. Happ's been a nice pickup, as we thought he would be.
Is it time for the Yankees to give up trying to win the division? Should they start thinking about just trying to win the wild card and getting home field advantage? Boston is running away with it.
10-game advantage going into play tonight.
I think they play them 6 more times, the Yankees in Boston,
right,
including the last 3 of the season. I mean, of course you go out there and still try to win and everything like that, but
what would you do differently?
I just go out and play it, and I wouldn't worry about what Boston's doing, but I would keep an eye on Oakland and Seattle and Houston.
Kevin Pillar hits it in the air. Third baseman Escobar makes the catch.
Because if I can't win the division, it doesn't look like they're going to have to go like 35-5, and Boston's going to have to play under
the tank.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen,
right.
I don't think. So you concede that, say, okay, I got to win the wild card, and I've got to get the home field advantage in the wild card.
They are 3.5 games ahead of Oakland at the start of play tonight, so they've gained a half a game to this point. So they're 4 games ahead of Oakland in the first wild card spot. But yeah, you're right. And you look at their schedule. They play Boston the last 3 games in Boston. They have a 3-game series in New York. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 18th, 19th, and 20th of September. So they play 2 series home and home against the Red Sox.
Maybe it just takes a little pressure off of you and say, you know what, let's don't try and overtake a 10-game lead by the Boston Red Sox. Let's just try and maintain our lead in the wild card.
They have a 3-game series against the Athletics over the Labor Day weekend in Oakland. And then they go to Seattle and Minnesota. That's a long trip in September.
Yeah.
That's
3
a tough
cities
trip. Yep.
Over those different time zones.
Oakland, Seattle, and then back to Minnesota. So it's a 9-game trip. The second week of September. That's a tough one. Another guy that has really scuffed in the second half is Gleyber Torres. He hasn't really done much with the bat. Miguel Andujar continues to contribute, but they miss Judge and Sanchez. There's no getting around it.
Absolutely.
Ground ball to third. Danny Jansen makes another bid for a base hit, denied by Escobar. Jansen's had a good start with the bat. but Jason Adam retires the side in order. Escobar's played well at third tonight.
Granderson telling me that he'd like to push for MLB to arrange visits to the museum for every team playing the Royals here. He said he's not looking for baseball to make it mandatory because that word can sometimes get people's back up, but for MLB to promote the visit as available on a road trip to Kansas City. Devin Travis took Granderson up on the offer. This was his very first visit to the Negro Leagues Museum. Travis telling me it was an experience he'll never forget, and this should be, Buck, on every baseball fan's bucket list.
Well, it should be. It's such a big part of the history of baseball, and unfortunately, it was something that got overlooked for such a long time. But Curtis Granderson, he was encouraged to go there by Dimitri Young, who was his mentor when he first came up with the Tigers, and Granderson's passing it along to his young teammates, and Devin Travis took it in. I talked to Randall Gritchick about it, and he said it was very eye-opening. He said, I knew some of that stuff, but to hear them explain the challenges of playing at that time and all the things they had to deal with, it was pretty interesting.
Good on Curtis, and good on Curtis to pass that down to some of these younger players.
Joe Biagini, and there's a bunt off the bat of Phillips. Muscle Martin can't make the play. Travis is there to back up the play. So Brett Phillips has a bunt base hit to start the bottom of the sixth.
That's the one play that you can't really replicate in practice if you're learning to play third base. You just got to get the reps and try and work it that way. It's a perfect bunt by Phillips. Not much that Russell can do with this one, but a heads-up play by Devin Travis to get over there and back that play up.
So Phillips is aboard with his first hit of the night. That's the 8th hit for Kansas City. Alcides Escobar, the third baseman, he doubled and scored the tying run in the 4th inning. He bunts, but bunts it foul. Long look down at third base to the third base coach, Mike Drechsel.
Check out what Russell is doing now. He's way in, saying, okay, you want to pick on me? All right. He's going to show him that he's in. He's probably going to back up on the pitch.
You have played on the infield. If you were Russell Martin, what would you look for as a tip-off that Escobar might be bunting?
Just watch the head of that baseball bat. You know, if it starts to move towards the catcher or move towards home plate, that means he's trying to bunt. If you look at his body, that's not going to be it. You got to look at the barrel of that baseball bat, and it'll tell you what he's trying to do.
Hit and run is on Blue Jays. Pitch out. There's the throw to second, right on the money. Well, the Blue Jays guessed right that time. They snuffed out the hit and run. Danny Jansen throws a strike to Devin Travis. They put the pitch out on, and Biagini delivered a perfect pitch out.
They bunt the first time up. They take that off, put the hit and run on, and he is not going to get a chance to get there. Great throw by Jansen to get his second runner in 2 nights. Good tag by Travis, and that leadoff hit is eliminated.
Double barrel action for the Blue Jays out in their bullpen. The lefty Jaime Garcia, Jake Petrichka, the right-hander. Three and one now to Escobar.
He doubled last time up, and you know he's got double on his mind again, especially after that runner was thrown out at first base.
Right back in our direction. It'll hit just below us. Joe Biagini. He had some experience in that postseason. He was not on the team in 15 when they played Kansas City, but in 16 he made 6 appearances in the postseason. Well, he gets jammed, and that's not going to stay in the air long enough for anybody to make a play on it. He needs a new bat.
He's got a good fastball. And his last 2 times to the mound for the Blue Jays, he's used it, and used it effectively. Well, that one ate up Escobar, didn't it? Fastball right in on his hands, and he needs some new lumber.
He didn't hit it high enough for anybody to catch it. Full count, 1 out. This is a 4-4 ball game. The fastball and a strikeout. 2 outs. Biagini's first strikeout, he came into the game and faced the minimum in the 5th inning. Got a double play to end that. That's good fastball with late movement.
It's a Royals team that is a very aggressive team offensively, but they don't strike out a lot. That's just the second strikeout of the night by the Blue Jay pitching. The first one was Sal Perez, and it came in a big situation. 2 outs, bases loaded, and the runners taking off on the pitch.
He took a called strike 3 from Borucki. That was the last pitch that Borucki threw in this game. Recorded his only strikeout. Mondesi's had a good night. He doubled and scored the first run for Kansas City in that 3-run 3rd inning. Then he had an RBI single. He's also picked up 2 stolen bases.
He doesn't
96.
He doesn't like that ball in there. It's a couple of times in the last 2 nights that they have tied him up on pitches inside there, and he's swung right through.
He's got another hit, and this is going to be extra bases unless Granderson can cut it off. He gets to it, but Mondesi runs too well. Well, Mondesi's a perfect 3 for 3. He's at a pair of doubles tonight.
The previous pitch was a ball in, and he didn't get a good swing on it. And then with 2 strikes, they tried to go back in there with a fastball, but he left it out over the plate. Here's the previous pitch, and he didn't have a lot of luck with that one, so they said, let's go back in there. But look where it ended up. Over the middle of the plate, and he pounds it into the gap in right field. Again, at major leagues, you make one mistake and they're going to capitalize on it.
That's Mondesi's first 3-hit game of the season. It's also the first time he's had 2 doubles in a game this year. And he's in scoring position for Merrifield. Jansen will go out and talk to Biagini. Now Russ Martin's going to come over this time and get involved. Everything is set before he could get there, but they've kind of asked Russell, hey, whenever we got Jansen in the game and he goes to the mound, we'd like you to go over there and kind of monitor the conversation.
That's right. Just to talk over situations, no problem for him to come over from third base and get in on that conversation.
There goes Mondesi. He's running to third. The throw is not in time. Well, he has taken this game over. 3 hits, 3 stolen bases.
And again, he did this his first time up in the baseline. Once again, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and he goes straight to third base. The last time he was at second base, he was taking that traditional lead behind the baseline. He stole that one easy. That's 3 stolen bases tonight.
Pitch is upstairs, called ball 2. Two and one now. Good fastball that Merrifield swung right through.
Merrifield has come up in this situation a lot this year and has come through. He's hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He'll use the whole field.
This is in the air, not that deep. Teoscar Hernandez will make the catch, and Biagini pitches out of it. Mondesi is stranded at third. We played 6 in Kansas City. It's still a 4-4 ball game. Retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. We move to the 7th inning. It's a 4-4 tie, and it'll be the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Granderson will lead things off, Travis, and then Smoak. Jason Adam came in the ball game in the 6th, retired the bottom 3rd in order. Popped up on the infield. Escobar, the third baseman, calling for it. One away. Now that's a young, enthusiastic Royals fan. Had a late start here. The game was scheduled to start at 7:15. It got underway about 7:45. A little bit late for that young lady.
Devin Travis needs a little luck. He hasn't hit into a lot of luck tonight. He has been robbed all 3 times he has come to the plate.
Just needs better direction. He hit a hot shot down the third base line in the first inning. Escobar made a nice play, and then Mondesi made a good play up the middle to throw him out, and then he got a line drive to center field his last time up that Brett Phillips ran down on the warning track 400 feet away from home plate.
Been robbed of a couple of doubles. That one in the 4th inning to center field was probably the hardest hit ball that he's hit tonight.
Big breaking curveball. Strike 2 to Travis. The lefty is Thomas Pannone. The righty is Tyler Clippard. Pannone had a good inning of work in the 8th inning last night. Had a 2-out walk, but then struck out Rosel Herrera to end the inning. Left that breaking ball up. Got away with one there.
Just slow breaking ball that he gets right on top of. Blue Jays haven't seen him yet. This is the first time that they faced him. Had a very quick inning last inning. He's retired all 4 batters that he has faced.
High fastball, and Travis strikes out. 2 away.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays. Only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
That's a perfect meal for a guy wearing a white shirt. A beautiful hunk of barbecue here in Kansas City.
I thought you were going to say that's a perfect meal for 3 guys. That's a lot of meat right there. Meat and potatoes.
That's family style right there. Justin Smoak. Smokey's 2 for 3 so far. Had a double in the 3rd and a single in the 5th.
How many 3-0 counts has Justin Smoak had in the last week or 10 days?
Yeah.
Tons of them. Here's another one.
He hit a 3-0 home run off of Craig Kimbrell of the Red Sox. One of the few times that he swings 3-0. His first 3-0 home run in his career.
I can bet you in their meeting before this series started, it was, we're not going to let Justin Smoak beat us.
Yeah, Smoak has drawn a lot of walks. That's another walk tonight, and the reason is that they haven't had the presence of Josh Donaldson in the lineup, Troy Tulowitzki in the lineup. No longer do they have Encarnacion or Bautista, and you know, Smoak's one guy that you have to pitch around.
And I think you've got a young player hitting behind him, and they're like, okay, well, we won't give Smoak anything good to hit. We'll take our chances with Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, Teoscar has struck out a lot.
Yes, so that's obvious. That's their game plan. How do you beat that? Teoscar get hot.
And Teoscar pops it up on the first pitch. The first baseman, Hunter Dozier, will make the play, and the Blue Jays will leave another base runner. Smoak draws a 2-out walk, but he's stranded. go to the bottom of the 7th in this 4-4 game. Thomas Pannone coming on.
Fans will receive this Blue Jays replica batting helmet. Then watch your Blue Jays host the Philadelphia Phillies at 4:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Back up to the booth as we rejoin Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. You talk about the Philadelphia Phillies being at Granderson, and they had a 2-1 loss tonight in Philadelphia, something they don't do very often. Boston held them to a run on 2 hits. Thomas Pannone, he pitched the 8th inning in last night's game. He is on to start the bottom of the 7th.
You mentioned that he pitched in last night's game. You got a left-hander leading off in Alex Gordon. Thomas Pannone might be asked to just get this one batter.
Alex Gordon takes the first pitch breaking ball for a ball. Pannone got Gordon to fly out to center field last night.
Good looking pitch. You know, one thing that we have noticed over the last week or so, since all of these young players have come to the big leagues, they don't look intimidated or scared.
No.
Look at Thomas Pannone. I mean, he's right in there. Just another day at the office.
Yeah, he has shown a lot of composure, throws a lot of strikes. You see his minor league numbers. Impressive win-loss record, 30-18. And a very good ERA. Elevated that fastball and really messed up Gordon. He was looking down and away.
Yeah, just couldn't catch up to it. He got that one above his hands, and now let's see if he'll throw him a breaking ball, 3-2. He's got a good one.
He throws him a fastball and gets a strikeout. A running fastball for out number 1. So Pannone gets Gordon. John Gibbons out of the dugout, and he's going to make a pitching change as Pannone continues to impress in first few innings of his big league career. He gets a good hitter in Alex Gordon to swing and miss, and that's the end of his night. So we got a pitching change here in Kansas City. Jake Petrichka will come on to face Sal Perez, and then Jorge Bonifacio, 2 right-handed hitters scheduled next in this 4-4 game.
19th at 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time, only on the WWE Network.
7th inning, 1 out. Jake Petrichka will take over for Thomas Pannone. Petrichka making his 25th appearance. He will face Sal Perez, the catcher.
Yeah, Gibby electing to go to a hard-throwing right-hander with a couple of right-handed power bats coming to the plate for the Royals. Petrichka's fastball has had some pop to it lately. Jake has done a good job of retiring that first batter, 16 of 24 this year. And he starts off Perez with a strike.
Sal Perez had an RBI double in the 3rd inning. Joe Biagini with 2 good innings of relief tonight. Boroky went 4 innings. Biagini pitched the 5th and 6th. Pannone got the first out of this inning, and now Jake Petrichka.
His fastball, I told you, has been really popping in there. He's also had great movement with it. Now's the time to use it. Keep it down.
There's a drive in the alley in left center, and that's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Perez is headed for second, and he'll get there with a stand-up double. His second double of the night.
Last time up, he had the bases loaded and he couldn't connect. This time with 1 out, he does connect. It's a pitch that's up. Told you when it's down, it's tough to reach it, but when it's up like that, Perez with that power will hit it into the gap in left center field for extra bases.
Jorge Bonifacio, the right fielder. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Big swing on the first pitch. He falls behind quickly. The Royals have out-hit the Blue Jays 10-5. That's the second straight night they've had more hits than the Jays. Good hard breaking ball.
Throw him another one. He hasn't come close to hitting those first 2.
He did throw him another slider, but this one was in the dirt. That's a foul ball. The Blue Jays had a 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Kansas City scored 3 runs on 4 hits. And then the Blue Jays got to run back in the top of the 4th, but Kansas City came right back up to tie it. That's where we stand right now in the 7th. It's a 4-4 game. Each club has stranded 6 base runners.
Kansas City has threatened the last couple of innings to score against the Blue Jays.
There's a base hit. That's going to score a run. Perez is around 3rd. Here's the throw to the plate. It is cut off. Jorge Bonifacio with an RBI double.
Bonifacio hits 208 with runners in scoring position, and he fell behind 0-2, so he's got a battle. There's that breaking ball. He leaves it out over the plate right there. You're not going to get Perez at the plate, not from all the way out there. The throw should go into second base and keep that double play in order. But it goes all the way to Russell Martin. That allows Bonifacio to hustle his way into second base.
Yeah, you throw the ball to second, you keep into a long single, and maybe you can get a double play to get out of it. Jose Herrera. Herrera is the DH tonight. He's walked, grounded out, and singled. Had a single to center field off Biagini back in the 5th.
Herrera, on the other hand, has been really good this year, hitting with runners in scoring position. Limited at bats because he hasn't been around too long, but he's hit over 300.
Herrera got into 11 games with Cincinnati before coming here to Kansas City. This is his 42nd game with the Royals. Martin with the backhand looks the runner back at second and throws across the diamond in time. Herrera's retired. Bonifacio still at second base.
And another good play by Martin. That's been 3 tonight that Russell has made down at third base. Did a good job of catching that ball, looking that runner back to third base. He's got plenty of arm to make that play. Now the infield has got to tell itself, hey, anything on the ground, if I can't get to it now, I've got to knock it down. Keep it on the infield.
97.
Yeah. Power sinker, so you're probably going to get a ground ball.
.98. Boy, that's a good fastball.
With great movement.
Oh, another one. He came right back and threw that fastball, threw it right by Hunter Dozier. But back-to-back doubles has given the Royals the lead. Blaine Boyer.
I hope to say this many more times over the years. Danny Jansen with a home run. This is home run number 1 in his major league career. Fastball in the inner half, right down the line. A lot like Devin Travis's home run last night, 384 feet. Happiness in the Jansen family as he circles the base, heads into the dugout with his first major league home run and tonight's drive of the game.
It was a big, long home run. Jansen hit 12 in Buffalo in AAA. Torres' new pitcher is Blaine Boyer.
Notice that he only has 20 games this year. There are the numbers in those 20 games. Just came off the disabled list. He was on the 60-day DL and missed 61 games with a lower back strain. The veteran pitcher has been around a long time. Started his career in the Atlanta Braves organization.
Third-round pick of the Braves in 2000. 0-1 to Morales. Morales has walked 3 times tonight. It's the 6th time in his big league career he's drawn 3 walks in a game. He hadn't had much to hit. He scored in the 2nd inning. He scored on Kevin Pillar's RBI single. The Blue Jays trail by a run as they bat in the 8th. Kansas City won the game last night 3-1. Breaking ball for strike 2.
Notice where all those pitches are.
Away. Everything is away.
The first 2 games in this series, everything has been away to Kendrys. They're trying to get him to hook the ball into their shift on the right side. Slow stuff away, fastballs away.
There's a fastball away, and Merrifield is in the outfield. He throws to first, 1 away. They play the shift, and so often those hard hit ground balls are caught in shallow right field by the second baseman, and Morales is thrown out.
Boyer started the season with this team, made the team as a non-roster invitee, went 2-0, and then went on the disabled list right at the end of May.
Boyer spent 4 seasons with Atlanta, and he spent time in St. Louis, Arizona, the Mets. He's been all over the place. He's pitched in San Diego, Minnesota, and Milwaukee. Last year he spent some time with the Red Sox. A veteran reliever, now 37 years old. He grew up in Atlanta at the high school in Marietta, Georgia. It's a slow breaking ball. Martin thought it was off the plate inside. It's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, he's got a curve and a slider. That was the slow curveball that he'll use. Mid-70s with that slow curveball, sinker, and then a straight 4-seam fastball. Now they want that slow curveball out in front of home plate now. Russell's not going to swing at that. Why even waste your time?
Yeah, he's very selective, very patient. He saw that breaking ball out of the hand was going to be low. Russell has been on base twice tonight. Check swing foul in front of the Royals dugout. Martin has now reached base in 12 straight games. He got hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 3rd, picked up an RBI. Hot shot, but right to the first baseman. Hunter Dozier will step on the bag. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Just when the Mariners get Robinson Cano back in the active roster, Cano started at first base tonight. They lose their ace, James Paxton, to an apparent injury. So now King Felix, working out of the bullpen, has gone 3 1/3 already. Boy, I tell you what, it's tough to keep everybody healthy, isn't it?
He's been pitching great, Paxton, and now has to leave. Let's hope everything is okay with him. That's going to be a great fight, I think. Pennant race in the American League West. it's not a given that the Houston Astros are going to win that division anymore.
Houston has lost 8 straight games at home, and they're playing at home tonight. They've also lost 4 in a row overall. They go into action tonight just 2 games ahead of Oakland, 4.5 ahead of Seattle. So yeah, they have been banged up. They've get Carlos Correa back off the DL, but he's 1 for 11. And the standings.
What a pennant race that's going to be. And they'll be playing each other the month of September. So that could change nightly.
Houston loses to Colorado. Justin Verlander was going for his 200th career win. He is saddled with the loss. He drops to 11-8. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? They still don't have Altuve. He's still on the DL. Carlos Correa, he went over 4 again tonight, so he is 1 for 15 since coming off the disabled list. And they had 3 hits tonight.
Hard to believe. George Springer, is he still out? I know he messed up his thumb when the team was in Los Angeles.
Lemus Diaz draws a 2-out walk. Herman Marquez picked up the win for Colorado. Colorado's been really hot. Going into action tonight, Colorado had played his last 35 games against teams 500 or better. Last 38 games. Now they are 26-13.
Amazing.
3rd best record in the majors over that period. Kevin Pillar takes his strike. So now Houston has lost 9 straight home games, and they have scored a total of 25 runs in those 9 games.
They just have to get their guys back. They got too many guys on the disabled list.
Pillar fouls it into the seats. You know, that's one of the reasons I think no one should really get discouraged and think it's going to be a long process before the Blue Jays get back to the status of being a contender. Yeah, I know they're 31 games out of 500. But at the same time, John Gibbons hasn't had Josh Donaldson since the 28th of May. Tulowitzki hasn't played an inning this year. Sanchez is still on the DL. Stroman was hurt to start the season. A lot of things went wrong for this team. And then the Osuna situation.
Right.
And you know what? You just can't predict one season to the next. You know, we all thought the Yankees and the Red Sox were going to go toe-to-toe right down to the wire, and now Boston has a 10-game lead over them.
Just look around baseball and how Atlanta and Philly have come on strong. Milwaukee has come on strong. Pittsburgh.
How about Colorado?
Colorado, they've been good for the last couple of years.
There are 3 teams in the West that are within a game of first place, not just the wild card. Arizona, Colorado, and the Dodgers. Pillar rips this one. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. Gone. A 2-run home run for Kevin Pillar on a hanging breaking ball that stayed inside. His 10th homer of the season, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
Has that ever changed the fortunes of the Blue Jays? Right there. 2 very quick outs in the 8th inning. You're down by a run, and you walk Diaz. You jump ahead against Pillar 0-2, and then you hang a pitch over the middle. And Sal Perez went out there to talk to his pitcher on 0-2, saying, let's make sure we make a good pitch here. And it was the wrong pitch. That's a hanging breaking ball. Thank you very much, says Kevin Pillar, as he rips that ball down the line.
Danny Jansen hit his first big league homer back in the 4th. Now Pillar goes deep.
0-2. And he made a mistake.
The Royals have walked 7 tonight. And you walk the number 7 hitter with 2 outs in a 1-run game. That's going to come back to bite you. And Pillar made sure it did. His 10th home run of the season. This is popped up middle of the diamond. Whit Merrifield, the second baseman, waits for it, and the inning is over. But it's a nice inning for the Blue Jays. 2-out walk and a 2-run home run by Kevin Pillar. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays lead at 6-5. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Joe Siddle from the Samsung broadcast studio.
Programs. Visit jayscare.com/unstoppablekids to support and learn more.
Bottom of the 8th inning here in Kansas City, and the Blue Jays will have a new pitcher on the mound. It'll be Tyler Clippard to start the bottom of the 8th. He'll face the bottom 3 in this Royals batting order, and the Blue Jays have a 1-run lead.
Just like that, with one swing of the bat, now they got to stop them, and Tyler Clippard's been pitching much better. First time that we have seen him in this series here. For the 59th time this year, he's 4-3 with a 378 earned run average. Pitched a couple times against Tampa Bay, a couple times against Boston, 4 times in that last homestand, and he didn't give up an earned run. Been using his fastball a lot more and a lot more effectively.
There's another fastball to get ahead. Brett Phillips had a bunt single his last time up, but he was thrown out trying to steal second. He is 1 for 3. Grounded into a double play and hit a ground ball to shortstop. Popped up. Russell Martin giving chase. Diaz as well. Here comes Hernandez, and it's going to drop in foul territory. Just hit into no man's land, and nobody really had a good shot to make a play on it.
Outfielders have to be a little bit deeper now with the lead in the 8th inning. Nothing over your head, because if it is, it's 2, maybe even 3 with some of the faster runners that the Royals have. So you play a little bit deeper, and then he hits the ball in front of you.
A 1-2. Clippard now is tied for second in appearances with Edwin Diaz of the Mariners. His 59th game. Alvarez of the Angels lead. He's appeared in 60. So Clippard's right there, top of the league. He's had a good season.
Yeah, he's closed some games for the Blue Jays. He's got 7 saves, 9 holds, and another strikeout.
Kevin Pillar has given the Blue Jays the lead with his 10th home run of the season, a 2-run home run with 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
0-2 slow breaking ball that hung on the inner half, and Pillar drills it down the line. That ball left here at 103 miles an hour and gave the Blue Jays the lead.
Now Alcides Escobar, 1 for 3. First pitch changeup. Escobar hit the double in the 4th inning, and it was a milestone double, his 200th career double. He's the 11th Royal to collect 200 doubles. And he's now had 198 doubles as a shortstop. That's the second most in the majors at shortstop since 2011. Only Elvis Andrews of the Rangers has more doubles since that time.
There have been some great offensive shortstops in the American League over the last few years. I wouldn't say he's a great offensive player, but I'll tell you what, he is a solid big leaguer.
Yeah.
They got the best of that trade. They gave up Zach Greinke, but they got 4 players who could really help them. And 2 of them played premium positions for the Royals on a team that won a World Series championship. Shortstop and center field.
Lorenzo Cain and Alcides Escobar. And they had to move Greinke. They couldn't afford to keep him.
Nope. They turned him into some good players.
Clippard with another surprise fastball as Escobar couldn't pull the trigger. 2 strikeouts for Tyler.
Using that fastball again with regularity. He started off Escobar, who was a first pitch fastball type of hitter, with a changeup, but then finishes him off with this fastball. Boom, right on the inner half. 2 up, 2 down.
Tyler Clippard might not finish this season with the Blue Jays. You look at all the teams that are in contention, especially in the National League, and Tyler has a very good resume. And he's throwing the ball really well right now.
Yeah, he's using fastballs early to get ahead. And then that changeup and splitter. Yeah, if you've been watching, he could help somebody.
Adamant Mondesi has had a season high 3 hits. He's also had a pair of doubles in the game for the first time this season. And for just a little icing on the cake, he has 3 stolen bases. Tim Hill, left-hander, in the bullpen for Kansas City. Foul tip off the mitt of Jansen. Blue Jays with 2 more home runs tonight. Had a solo home run from Travis in last night's game. Danny Jansen with a solo shot, his first big league homer. Kevin Pillar, a 2-run home run, top half of the 8th. There's a 4th hit for Mondesi.
I believe the 3rd time he's gotten a hit on 2 strikes tonight. Might have been the splitter that tumbled up towards home plate, and he stayed back on it and ripped it into right field again. Yep, there's the splitter grip. It tumbles towards the plate, but catches too much of the plate, and he's on base again.
First 4-hit game of his young career. And he's a threat to run.
He is not going to stay at first base long.
This is the 110th game that Mondesi has played in the big leagues, and it's his first game with 4 hits. Top of the order, leadoff man, Whit Merrifield. Mondesi has raised his batting average 22 points tonight. Mondesi's father, Raul, a terrific big league player, played 13 seasons, including 3 seasons with the Blue Jays.
He was fast, but he wasn't this fast.
No. He was a very good base stealer. Raul Mondesi had 229 stolen bases in his career, a career high 36 with the Dodgers in '99.
You know what it does when you've got a guy over at first base who can run like this? It gets more fastballs for Merrifield, the hitter. Can you take a chance of throwing a changeup here? If he goes, he's going to steal it. So maybe you throw more fastballs.
1-1. Clippard's doing a good job mixing it up, holding the ball, going to first. You make an aggressive base stealer like Mondesi wait, oftentimes they'll tense up. They'll lose that edge.
Yeah, they tell him get a jump over there. Well, doing that diffuses that jump.
You know, you made a point about throwing more fastballs in this situation. I think for a pitcher, especially like Clippard, I think you got to stay with your strengths and pitch your game to the batter. I don't think you can allow a base stealing threat to alter your approach. Just keep pitching the way you would if there weren't a base runner at first. Fly ball, left field. Hernandez is over. He makes the catch, and Mondesi is stranded on base. Tyler Clippard gives up a 2-out single and nothing more. Picks up a couple of strikeouts. We'll go to the ninth. The Blue Jays have a 1-run lead. Jansen hits his first big league home run with 1 out in the 4th inning. And then Kevin Pillar with 2 outs and a man aboard in the 8th inning. It's his 10th home run of the season to give the Blue Jays the lead. And that's where we stand now as we are in the 9th. It's 6-5 Jays. And since the All-Star break, Blue Jays have been hitting home runs on a regular basis. Only the Red Sox, Orioles, and Athletics have hit more home runs than the Blue Jays. Cleveland is right there tied with the Jays.
They've also had 80 extra base hits since the All-Star break, 5th most in the American League, and those extra base hits have helped them to a 6-5 lead. Tim Hill will take over now for the 51st time this season. There are the numbers for the left-hander, and he gets a lot of ground balls, and when you see him deliver a pitch, you'll know why. Look at that. Pretty nasty.
Left-hander is 28 years old, and the pinch hitter is Randall Grichuk, batting for Curtis Granderson. Off the pitcher, it bounces over toward Dozier, who's going to go in the baseline and tag Grichuk. Boy, that's a bad break for Randall. It could bounce anywhere, but it bounced right to the first baseman, who fielded it and tagged him out.
Yeah, maybe Hill got hit hard enough. Everybody's going to go out there and take a look at him. Right off the shin of his right leg. And unfortunately, right to Dozier, who applies the tag.
Yeah, Ned Yost out there to check on Hill. He's going to throw a pitch or two just to make sure he's okay. Well, he's got a funky delivery, and it's a challenge for a hitter after you're facing a conventional windup or a set position all night to try to find the release point from a side armor.
That's why he gets a lot of ground balls coming from down under like that. It's got to be tough on left-handed hitters too. But he says he's okay.
Ken Giles is loosening up. He picked up a save Sunday at Rogers Center with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. He struck out Willie Adames to end that ball game, so he is loosening up. This will be Devin Travis, and Devin is 0 for 4, but boy, it doesn't really tell the full story of his at-bats tonight. He's had 3 good at-bats and been robbed of 3 hits.
Robbed of a hit by Escobar in the first inning. Mondesi got him. His next at-bat in the third, and then Phillips in center field ran down a long fly ball.
So sometimes a box score doesn't tell the whole story.
Well, he's had a good game. He just doesn't have anything to show for it.
You talk about switching your sidelines if you're a hitter, and now all of a sudden you have to try to pick up the release point of Hill, who's left-handed first and foremost, and then he throws from the side. Where's the ball coming from? Bounced over the pitcher's mound. Merrifield throws to first in time.
Wherever it's coming from, I would look down, somewhere down in the strike zone, because that's where he's going to be throwing that ball. It's going to be sinking on its way to home plate too.
Here's one of those great stories of a 32nd round draft pick making it to the big leagues. Justin Smoak, he's 2 for 3. Got his average up to 260. Smoak had a double in the third and a single in the fifth. Little chopper towards short. Mondesi throws on the run in time to end the inning. Tim Hill. A very clean inning. 1, 2, 3. 3 ground ball outs. It'll be Gordon, Perez, and Bonifacio for Kansas City. Ken Giles coming in to try to wrap it up for the Jays.
Honda at the Model Clearout event. The real victory lap is the drive home.
Bit of a Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. We've reached the bottom of the ninth, and Blue Jays have a 6-5 lead. They've scored 6 runs on just 6 hits. Kansas City has doubled them up in hits, and now it's over to Ken Giles.
Time for closing. Ken Giles is 13 for 13 in save opportunities. His last time out, he picked up the save. His first save as a Blue Jay with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. That's against Tampa Bay. Defensive replacement for the Jays, Randall Grichuk, stays in the game in right field after he pinched hit for Curtis Granderson.
So for Ken Giles, this is his 14th save opportunity of the season. He's 13 for 13. And he hasn't given up a run in save situations. So it's in there. Alex Gordon, the left fielder, is 1 for 3 with a walk. He lined out his first time up, hit that one right on the button. But right to Smoak at first. It's a hard slider for a strike, 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what he has. It's fastball slider and a good arm. Loose with a lot of strikeouts. Spent some time down in AAA this year with the Houston club before he was traded over here.
Another slider for the strikeout. 1 away.
That's where you want to finish off a hitter, down with that breaking ball, and it's a good one. No chance for the left-hander Gordon to even make contact.
Sliders are different from pitcher to pitcher, and his slider is really tight. It kind of goes down. It's
It almost looks like a curveball.
Yeah. That was what I was thinking. And it's hard. Sal Perez has a pair of doubles tonight. RBI doubled in the third. He doubled and scored in the seventh. His double was off of Jake Patricia. Nasty. Quickly 0-2 to Perez. Perez against Giles is 2 for 4 with a home run. Of course, at bats against closers are very limited. You don't see him all that often. He makes quick work of Perez. 2 outs. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osmak. Thank you very much, and that's all coming up right after this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. The Blue Jays are not away from winning game 2 of this 4-game series. Jorge Bonifacio had an RBI double his last time up. Giles in save situations coming into this game, 12 innings pitched, no earned runs. In non-save situations, 23 1/3. A .920 earned run average. That has been consistent with a lot of closers over the years.
Yeah, for some reason they just don't have that adrenaline rush that you have when you normally have save situations. You bring them in a non-save situation. For some reason, it's just not there.
Even with Ward and Hankey, when they needed some work and they'd come in to pitch a game, more often than not, they weren't at their best. There's just something missing, that adrenaline, that fire, the fact that you have the team's fate in your hands.
Yeah, something's on the line, whatever you want to call it. And it's happened. It happens all around baseball. You see it everywhere.
2 balls and a strike to Bonifacio. Beat him with that fastball. Ken Giles picked up his 13th save of the season on Sunday, finishing up that Tampa Bay series. Two-two pitch. Chopped right out in front of home plate. Giles throws to first, and that's the ball game. Ken Giles picks up his second straight save for the Blue Jays. He wraps it up. Kevin Pillar came through with a big 2-run home run in the 8th. Danny Jansen hit his first big league home run, and the Blue Jays have evened the series at a game apiece.
Yeah, they were really one swing away from losing this game. They hadn't had a hit since the 5th inning until Kevin Pillar stepped up, hit that 0-2 breaking ball out of the ballpark. The bullpen has to be commended tonight. What a job they did. They didn't give up anything except 1 run by Petrichka. That was it in 2, 3, 4 innings of work tonight.